Okay, focus. Hello, I'm feeling a little ghosty pale today, but it's winter time. Today, we are going to talk about something a little spicy. I asked you on my Instagram what kind of, okay, let me start over. So today we're going to talk about things I don't usually talk about, which are sex, drugs, and alcohol, and my experience with these things as a type 1 diabetic. So you didn't know, I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 14, and now I am 26. So gone through my high school years, college, and now mid-20s with this disease. All right, so let's get into these questions. The first one is, what kind of alcohol do you drink as a type 1 diabetic? So honestly, diabetics can drink alcohol. There's definitely more variables on the table of things that can be quite dangerous for diabetics, especially type 1. So it is definitely something to take into consideration of how much you're going to consume, and making sure, in my opinion, it's always really important to be a sober mind to make correct decisions and safe decisions living with type 1, because your body needs that assistance and you need to be sober to make those decisions. So that is something I really do take seriously, is the consumption amount. I do enjoy a glass, but we don't have any in the house. I think maybe we do, and if it's like sat there for forever, but I genuinely love being in my sober mind. And yeah, I just don't feel like I need it to take the edge off of anything. I'm usually like a cup of tea kind of girl. However, if I do feel like having a drink, which sometimes will happen, I do like to go for whiskey on ice. Occasionally I will have an old-fashioned, which has a little bit of muddled sugar in it. And I don't really like guessing or giving an insulin shot for my alcoholic beverages, so I usually just do whiskey on ice, and then I don't have to give a shot. Occasionally too, I will drink vodka with like a Zevia, which is a healthier soda, but I haven't done that in so long. I'm not really a big drinker. Sorry to let you down if you were like hoping for something juicy. Next question is, do you ever fear pregnancy and having children with type 1 diabetes? If I decide to have children, I'm not really concerned with it. I feel like I'll have a really great healthy pregnancy. I guess more fearful of the extra burden it is to like deal with a tighter glucose range, because your blood sugars have to stay super controlled. So it's just, that's like, it's already keeping my sugars between like under 200 and above 70 all the time is a challenge, and making that range even tinier is like, whoa. I don't really know how women with type 1 do it, but it's been done a lot and I'm not fearful of it in that way, so no. Next question is, does sex raise your blood sugars? And the thing is, I think it can do both. Usually it drops them because you're moving around a lot. This is so funny. Why is it funny? It's not funny. Usually. Okay, focus. So yeah, it usually lowers my blood sugars, and sometimes that can be a good excuse to, get in there and have some fun. Pun intended. Oh man, I'm sweating with this question. I feel like people are gonna watch this that I know. It's okay. Everybody has sex, everybody poops. It's kind of the same, right? Okay, so yeah, does sex raise your blood sugars? For me personally, usually no. Usually they go low, which is really nice, so sometimes you can use that. But I have found that when they're high, it's harder to have a more enjoyable experience. All right, another question I got is insulin resistance during your period. Oh my, I could complain about this for 6 months straight. I have a really hard time with it, and if you don't know, I feel like I've said this before, but I didn't get my period for 7 years, not due to being on birth control, other factors. When I finally did get my period back, I have just over the past year and a half have been trying to figure out what that regular cycle looks like and to be able to look for the signs. So definitely the week before and even into the week of my period, I have terrible insulin resistance, and it definitely can help if you're exercising, eating lower fat, whole foods, plant-based diet, but it's really hard to do because you're craving things, you're also feeling moody, and for me, I feel quite lethargic. I don't want to work out, and it's just like a mood. And the fact that my blood sugars are high on top of that puts me in even more of a mood. So it's tough. But other than that, I don't experience any bad PMS symptoms. It's really just the insulin resistance. It's so annoying because you can do everything right, and then all of a sudden one day it's like, oh, insulin didn't do anything. All right, another question is, what is the hardest thing in general of living with type 1 diabetes? And the hardest thing in general, I keep looking over there, I'm not looking at anything, I'm just looking into the abyss of my thoughts. But I think the hardest thing in general is definitely the fact that there is no ending point for the foreseeable future. This is my life every day, and there's no break. I can never not take a break and just not worry about it. And that is probably the hardest thing, is just constantly having to deal with it. And it just sucks, man. It sucks so bad. So, all right, that's that. Can you enjoy having sex or babies as a diabetic? I'm curious. Yeah, you can definitely enjoy sex, I promise. And if you can have babies, you can definitely have babies as a type 1 diabetic. There are a lot of people who have very successful pregnancies, and it's just becoming easier, I think, to manage our blood sugars and manage pregnancy as a type 1 with progressing science and stuff. So if you are a type 1 and you're trying to get pregnant or you're interested in it, really look out there. There are so many people who started, you know, sharing their stories through social media, which has been so helpful and just even insightful for me. Definitely a lot of good resources out there. So yeah, just look up, and you know, maybe one day, I can't say anytime here soon, but maybe one day I'll be able to give my 2 cents on it, but I don't know yet, so we'll see. All right, the next question is, when my blood sugar is high, I don't want to have sex. Or do anything until it's normal. Do you feel the same way? Yeah, girl, I totally get you. I definitely get a little irritated. Sometimes you can be feeling a little dehydrated, and that just kind of makes other things a little dry, if you know what I mean. So I get how you're feeling, but sometimes it can still be helpful because it will bring your sugars down, but I know what you mean. Okay, so this person says, do you have any other health conditions besides type 1 diabetes? I definitely struggled with hyperthyroidism for a long time. I was put on a bunch of medication for that. You know, I was told that I probably couldn't have kids and all this stuff because I was basically going into premenopause in my early 20s, and I have reversed all that. I'm very healthy and I don't have any other health conditions. So yeah, that's really great. And I feel so blessed to be able to say that I'm very healthy even though I live with type 1 diabetes. So the next question is, with the pump, do you take it off during intimate time? I'm not sure what to do with mine. Thanks. So when I was on a Medtronic insulin pump, I did usually like to unclip and just set it off to the side. Could understand how maybe it would be awkward, but for me and my husband, obviously very comfortable. And in my opinion, if you're going to be intimate with someone, you should be very comfortable with them. Sometimes we ended up kind of like laughing about it just because, you know, it's just dangling off your body all the time, and it can be kind of annoying if you're like ripping it closed and then it pulls out, and that can be a total mood killer. But yeah, usually I would unclip and just set it off to the side. If you do clip it off, just don't forget to clip it back in, because sometimes if you clip it off and then say you were to like fall asleep or take a nap and then not have your pump plugged in, that would not be good because you'd be without insulin for who knows how long until you woke up. Someone asked, has it ever been an issue in my dating life? If you didn't know, I've been with my husband since the very beginning. He's my first boyfriend. There was just, I guess, moments where I felt guilty because I feel like it dictated something that we were doing, or I felt like I ruined a date night because my blood sugars were bad or something like that. But luckily I had a very, still have a very supportive boyfriend and husband and friend, just reminding me that I didn't choose to have diabetes, and a lot of times I wasn't choosing to have bad blood sugars that day. I think the best thing to do is just being really honest about things that are going on and how you're feeling with it. Find someone who can be really supportive and a good friend in that, then no, it's never really been an issue. Okay, someone says T1D and smoking weed. So I've actually never smoked weed. I know, I feel like some people are gonna be like, I don't believe you. That's fine. I've been in multiple situations where I was offered weed, and I just never, I don't know what to tell you. Here's the thing. When I was in high school, there did come a little bit of time, and maybe late high school, college, I don't know, where I was like, yeah, that's something I want to do. And I don't know what to tell you other than I was presented, and I kind of just always felt like, no, it's not the right time, not the right vibe. I just don't want to try that here with these people, whatever. And then just time passed, and now I'm 26 and I just could care less. I just really don't care. I really feel very empowered off the idea of not depending on any kind of substances. And that, I think, is the best way to describe my situations. I just love that I can feel very comfortable and find peace with myself without needing to, depend on anything other than insulin. Is the one thing that I can't, not depend on that stuff to live. But I also just have had multiple people in my life where I feel like weed has had more of a negative impact than positive. Not to say it's bad. I know it's helped thousands of people. You do you. But from my experience, I've definitely seen it more of a depressant in people's lives. So personally, it's just not really something that I want to get into. And that's just me, I'd rather get into bananas or something like that. And same thing goes for cigarettes and definitely alcohol for that matter. I've never been blackout drunk or anything. Yeah, I just haven't. I mean, I've been a little tipsy before, but I think the most I ever drank was my 21st birthday, and I will insert a picture here. And the funny thing is that that whole picture, I feel like people might not even believe that was posed, but it genuinely was. I was holding someone else's drink and someone else's cigarette and laughing because it was so not me, and I was quite sober-minded, especially at that point in the night, which was 3 a.m. I'm pretty sure I was drinking a water and dancing to a Meghan Trainor song. Yeah, but I did consume alcohol for 3 days in a row, and I felt like utter crap. And I just thought to myself, after that one time when I turned 21, I thought, how on earth could people do this every single weekend? And I was having maybe 2 drinks, and I just thought, I don't know how people can do this. I was so tired, and I felt just like crap. I was like, ooh, I just want some vegetables and fruits right now. So again, that's just, my personal experience. Not to say alcohol or weed makes you a bad person, because it doesn't, but it is important to take care of our bodies and fuel it with as much life as we can, and that is through healthy lifestyle choices in the sense of fruits and vegetables and complex carbohydrates. And if you do choose to eat meat, choosing, ethically sourced meat. I'm sounding super hippy dippy right now, but that's just the truth of it. I feel like this video was longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna cut it off here. You can find my other social accounts down in my description. Maybe I'll do another video like this in the future with some more juicy questions. Other than that, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.